Hello MotoGP fans, welcome back to ZNGP Today. Long celebrated for its passionate crowds and technical layout, the Circuito de Jerez, Ángel Nieto now holds another distinction: more Spanish triple podiums across all classes than any other track. From Jorge Lorenzo's iconic lake jump in 2010 to Alex Márquez's victory just last weekend, Jerez has proven itself the epicenter of Spanish motorcycling success. Marc Marquez's Spanish Grand Prix weekend had all the makings of a fairy tale, until Turn 8 wrote a different ending. After storming to victory in the sprint and lining up as a top contender for Sunday's main event, the Ducati rider's hopes of a home double evaporated early. Now, after topping the Jerez test and reflecting on the crash, Marquez admits it was overconfidence. On a corner he normally dominates. That brought him down. Following a high-stakes Grand Prix weekend in Jerez, Yamaha stayed behind for a crucial day of testing and walked away with renewed optimism. With all four of its MotoGP riders sampling a new engine specification, the Japanese manufacturer may have found the performance step it's been chasing. Leading the positive feedback was Jack Miller, who described the upgraded inline 4 as delivering exactly what the riders had requested. After clinching pole and finishing runner-up in Sunday's Grand Prix at Jerez, Monster Energy Yamaha's Fabio Quartararo stayed on track for Monday's official test, eager to squeeze more performance from his YZR-M1. Despite another strong showing, the Frenchman remained measured, praising progress while warning against premature optimism. Don't forget to click subscribe button and the bell icon for MotoGP news update. Opened in 1986 and hosting its first 500 cubic centimeters World Championship race in 1987, Jerez has been a fixture on the Premier Class calendar ever since. Its blend of fast sweepers and the famed slow turn 13 has created countless memorable duels. Since we opened in 1986, Jerez has been a classic on the world stage. Our fans have witnessed some of the most thrilling battles MotoGP has to offer, circuit director said. No circuit has seen more Sundays where Spain's top three finishers swept MotoGP, Moto2 and Moto3 than Jerez. The most recent came at the 2025 Spanish GP, when Alex Márquez, Manu Gonzalez and José Antonio Rueda stood atop their respective podiums. Jerez leads the list with 4 Spanish triple podiums, more than any other track in championship history. MotoGP statistician. It's the slow corner before the main straight, turn 13, where some of Jerez's most iconic passes have unfolded. From Dani Pedrosa's daring moves in 2013 to Maverick Vinales' memorable scrap with Luis Salem in the same year, this braking zone has entered MotoGP folklore. Many of our most unforgettable battles happened at turn 13. It's where riders lay it all on the line just before the finish. Historic announcer. While Jerez sits atop the podium for Spanish triples, several other circuits have celebrated Spain's depth of talent. Sachsenring, Indianapolis, Misano, Montmello, Ricardo Tormo, Austin and Losail each feature 3 occasions where Spaniards swept all classes. Beyond Jerez, Spanish riders have left their mark everywhere from Le Mans and Brno to Sepang and Phillip Island. 2 more Spanish venues, Montmello in September and Valencia in November, will offer further chances for home heroes to shine in 2025. With 4 Spanish triples and countless legendary duels to its name, Jerez's status as the beating heart of Spain's racing tradition is undeniable. As the championship moves on, fans will be watching eagerly to see if any other track can match Andalusia's rich legacy of home soil glory. Lying in third and chasing the front duo of Fabio Quartararo and teammate Pecco Bagnaia, Marc Marquez looked set to challenge for the win at Jerez. But just 3 laps in, a split-second decision at turn 8 saw him go down. The high-speed left-hander, usually a strength for Marquez, turned costly, forcing him to rejoin the race from the back with a damaged bike. He still salvaged 12th, clocking his fastest lap late in the race, but the opportunity was lost. Because on those left corners I feel super good. It was the first crash of the season in a left corner. But too much confidence. I need to be more careful in the future, Marc Marquez said. Sunday's fall wasn't caused by a wild move or unpredictable grip. It was simply a case of pushing past the limit in familiar territory. Marquez explained that he realized he'd entered too fast but tried to hold the line regardless, believing in his usual confidence through left-handers. That trust backfired. The crash marked his second Sunday fall of the season, both coming while fighting at the front, COTA and now Jerez, despite an overall drop in his crash rate this year. I went in too fast. And I realized that I was too fast. But in terms of being a bit wide, I tried to keep the line. I believed in myself and I said, okay, I will stay. But it was not possible. Marquez has crashed less in 2025, just 3 times in 5 rounds compared to 7 at the same point last year. But the timing of those crashes has been brutal. Both Sunday falls have come during race battles, precisely when points matter most. His only other crash, a wet high side in COTA practice, didn't cost him race ground. That contrast is not lost on the 8-time world champion, who knows that even rare errors can be championship defining. It's super strange because it's the year that I'm crashing less, but 2 times on the Sunday. If I want to fight for the championship, I need to learn about these mistakes. Despite the crash, Marquez remains a serious title threat. He's won every race he's finished upright and sits second in the championship, just 1 point behind his brother, Alex. With Le Mans up next and his pace reaffirmed during Monday's test, Marc Marquez has a clear goal: clean Sundays and consistent points. Because in MotoGP, sometimes the fastest rider isn't the one with the best lap, it's the one who learns fastest from his mistakes. Monday's post-race test at Jerez offered Yamaha a golden opportunity to trial its long-anticipated engine upgrade. Jack Miller and Augusto Fernandez, joining factory duo Fabio Quartararo and Alex Rins, ran the new power plant in varying conditions. Despite finishing 13th on the timesheets, Miller was focused more on the engine's feel than raw lap times, highlighting the value of the shakedown under high rubber conditions. It was a decent day for us. Obviously, these tests are very important. Very happy with the progress of the bike and looking forward to racing on it at Le Mans. Jack Miller's statement. Yamaha's new engine spec was designed to inject more horsepower into the YZR-M1 without losing its renowned smoothness. According to Miller, the factory hit the brief. The Aussie praised Yamaha's responsiveness, noting that the upgraded engine addressed exactly the feedback the riders had been giving the engineers in recent rounds. Pretty much what we've asked for, they've given us. It looks really solid, especially around Jerez. As always, Monday's test wasn't about pushing lap times but filtering parts and refining direction. Miller cautioned against reading too much into stopwatch figures, emphasizing instead the value of intuitive feedback in such grippy conditions. The Aussie veteran stayed grounded, saying the objective was to isolate performance traits and avoid chasing illusions in near-perfect tarmac conditions. These Monday tests are always a bit weird. You don't chase so much setup as you're trying to just filter the parts or the idea. Augusto Fernandez, filling in for the injured Miguel Oliveira, also provided valuable input. Finishing 17th on the day, the Spaniard noted that the engine upgrade offered small but important improvements to the overall bike feel. He was encouraged both by the technical direction and his increasing comfort aboard the YZR-M1. While the difference isn't huge and there's still room for improvement, we're moving in the right direction, Augusto Fernandez said. Weekend at Jerez that saw Fabio Quartararo take pole, land on the podium, and lift the factory to second place in the constructors' standings. The new power plant will likely be homologated in time for Le Mans, as the team aims to further close the gap to Ducati. Pramac team director Gino Borsa echoed the optimism, describing the upgrade as a clear move forward with tangible benefits in future races. The character of the engine is very similar to the one we have been using so far, but offers more power, Gino Borsa said. With Yamaha's new engine receiving unanimous praise from riders and team management alike, the project is set to pivot from prototype to race weapon. Le Mans will be the next test, not in data, but in results. For Jack Miller and the Yamaha camp, the target is clear: turn testing satisfaction into race day performance. Quartararo kicked off the tests by evaluating Yamaha's new power plant, designed to boost top-end grunt without sacrificing the bike's trademark responsiveness. He spent much of the opening runs focusing on throttle delivery and mid-corner drive, comparing the fresh specification to the outgoing unit. The engine is working quite well. It's difficult to judge accurately here because the longest straight at Jerez is so short. But the most important thing was that the new engine offered the same agility as the standard model, Fabio Quartararo said. Beyond horsepower, Quartararo assessed upgraded electronics mapped to optimize traction control and rear-end grip. He noted a more intuitive interface between rider inputs and system intervention, key for maintaining momentum through Jerez's technical infield sections. With the electronics, the feeling was good. We need a little more time to fully benefit from it, but there are positive approaches. While the power and electronic suite impressed, the M1's chassis and suspension remained familiar territory. Quartararo admitted he didn't yet perceive a clear handling uplift, though he trusts the data will reveal subtle gains, particularly under the high-grip conditions that Monday's test delivered. Honestly, I don't feel any difference. The team also said I shouldn't feel any. But in testing it probably looks a little better, so let's take a look. Quartararo wound up the day third fastest with a 1 foot 36.353 inches, just 0.477 seconds shy of Marc Marquez's benchmark. Yet, he downplayed the significance of raw lap times, pointing out Jerez's freshly rubbered surface and gusting winds meant late session times didn't tell the full story. Today, time doesn't matter to me. The wind was very strong and the track was extremely rubberized. If you wait until late, you get better conditions, but then you're comparing apples with pears. As the sun set over Andalusia, Quartararo stressed the need for perspective. Solid test days build foundations but guarantee nothing on race Sunday. He warned against soaring expectations or undue disappointment, emphasizing consistent effort over emotional swings. It was a good day of testing, but I don't want to be too happy or too unhappy. Maybe we'll get on the podium at the next race, maybe we'll be 10th or 6th. The important thing is that, as always, we give our best. With Le Mans looming as the next stop, Yamaha's camp leaves Jerez with valuable data and a tempered morale boost. Quartararo's blend of praise and practicality sets the tone, acknowledging genuine gains while bracing for the unpredictable theater of Grand Prix racing. Thanks for watching ZNGP Today, and this is your MotoGP news update. And see you next time!